What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about the top 10 things that Brits are really good at. Or as this video title puts it, top 10 things Brits are bloody good at. Is that a thing? Is that a stereotype? Or do British people really use the word bloody a lot? Because in America, they tend to put that in a lot of stuff. They have British people say bloody good a lot. Is that a thing? Anyway, without getting off track too much, I don't know. What are things that Americans are good at, you know? Eating hot dogs? Basketball? Ranch dressing? You know? Is this list gonna be comprised of, like, some of the best known things that Britain has come up with or come out with, or some of the achievements of its greatest citizens or its people, or what are the things that Brits are bloody good at? I'm very interested. So without any further ado, let's take a look.
And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things the Brits are bloody good at.
Would you like a cup of tea, mate?
Thanks, Mickey. Love one.
Before we begin, we published...
That is definitely one that Americans think of. I would wager that Brits are bloody good at making a great cup of tea, especially compared to Americans, who probably wouldn't really know what they're doing.
...that the British are bleeding brilliant. Sometimes it's a well-established fact that the British are bleeding brilliant at something, while some of our other talents are vastly underappreciated.
Oh.
For this list, we're ditching our stereotypical modesty for just a few short minutes to take a look at our strongest specialties.
Is that a stereotype of British people as well, to be very modest? I actually think that is. I've heard of that. That actually is something. British modesty. Huh. That's a pretty good attribute. Certainly, probably not something you'd associate with the United States. But that's neither here nor there.
Number 10. Theatre.
Ah.
Forget Broadway, London's West End is the true pinnacle for stage performers. Not that we're in competition with New York or anything, but if we were, we'd totally win.
You know, whenever I hear about a British actor or actress who's really famous in the United States, and whenever they interview them, I always tend to hear from them that they started in theater, or they do theater. British actors all seem to do theater, then do movies, and they're incredible. And so I actually do have an association with Brits and great theater.
Boasting mainstay productions of shows like the most watched musical in the world, The Phantom of the Opera, plus The Wizard of Oz retelling Wicked, and even the Michael Jackson musical Thriller, Les Mis has run continuously since 1985, plus Harry Potter and the Cursed Child ran for almost 2 years before NYC.
Wow, there's a Harry Potter musical? Really? You know, if it's done by professional actors on stage, that's actually probably pretty good, huh?
Even got a look in. There's basically something for everyone under the bright lights of London's theatre scene. Number 9. Playing Hollywood bad guys. For whatever reason, Hollywood seems to typecast us Brits as the villains, and that's probably because we're pretty darn great at it.
Is this true? Maybe this is true, and I just never really noticed. Brits as the villain. It's kind of a compliment, right? Maybe.
Oh, yes. What was it you said to me before? Yippee-ki-yay, mother...
Whether
Villains do have to carry the performance in a kind of unique way. Being a villain is like an art. That's why I say I think it's kind of a compliment to be known for being great at playing villains. Kind of cool.
it's the legendary performance of Alan Rickman playing foil to Bruce Willis in Die Hard, or Gary Oldman's villainous turn in Bram Stoker's Dracula, or The Fifth Element, or Air Force One, or, well, you get the point.
Yeah.
Next time, I'll choose someone more important.
Clearly no one nails an ominous, threatening, or iconic antagonist better than the raft of gargantuan actors hailing from these shores.
Therefore, since I cannot prove a lover, I'm determined to prove a villain.
Yeah, there's some kind of perfect combination going on here, where all these actors have that seriousness and believability, but like that British like wit or charisma or something, where it's like you love to see them be evil.
Number 8. Educational institutes. Yes, Harvard and Yale are pretty impressive, but they pale in comparison to our own prestigious universities, Oxford and Cambridge. Fostering future prime ministers, presidents, leading academics, scientists, actors, actresses, and business tycoons, amongst an endless list of notable graduates, the legacies of these institutions are second to none.
You know how you know these institutions are genuinely amazing? Americans don't know anything about Britain or the UK and what's there and what's going on, yet all Americans all somehow know about Oxford and Cambridge. So that just kind of proves, since that the knowledge of those places has transcended into popular American culture, that's proof in and of itself that they are amazing, basically.
Not to mention that Oxford is the oldest English-speaking university there is, and second oldest in continuous operation in the world. Many of the all-time great minds have been shaped in Britain.
Right.
Number 7. Unique slang.
Yeah. This is also super, super famous in the United States. All the crazy, wacky, hilariously entertaining British slang, man.
You best know about our unique slang, fam. If not, you must be off your nut, fella. Either way, we'll leave it there, pet.
In the bottom of St. Regis tea kettle, yes. And then she sat on a turtle.
From the Cockney rhyme,
Do Brits like Austin Powers? Because a lot of those movies was poking fun at an exaggeration of British culture. I think. Maybe it was all accurate. Who knows?
rhyming slang popularised during World War II to the globally influenced hybrid street slang of London, heard in films like Kiddlehood, there's no shortage of superb slang spoken in Britain.
Look, why aren't you speaking to me?
Man,
You won't chat to me in like 3 weeks?
and I've been doing a bit of things in it.
There's also the lingo that's specific to the north, plus a barrage of brilliant terms from the West Country and Wales, north of the border dialect in Scotland, and countryside colloquialisms from East Anglia. By gum.
Oh, is that right?
Number 6. Music festivals. Glastonbury alone is probably enough to validate this entry, but throw in Reading and Leeds, Isle of Wight and Download festivals to name but a few, and it's almost overkill.
Okay, I gotta admit, this ain't my area of expertise to be judging music festivals. Who would pride themselves on throwing the best and biggest music festivals? I would imagine Americans would like to take some credit for throwing great music festivals. I would imagine, but goodness knows I don't know what's going on in Britain as far as music festivals. Looks like fun though.
Anyone who's anyone in almost any genre of music has played or wants to play at one, if not all, of these iconic venues at some point in their careers. The usually lousy British weather just adds to the experience, as festival goers wear their coatings of mud like badges of honour.
I may be old and inappropriately dressed, but at least I look amazing.
And music aside, you can't beat a few drinks and a good old-fashioned sing-along around the campsites.
People fall in love in mysterious ways.
Yeah, that's kind of a whole other thing, right? All the famous venues, places, stages, famous places everyone performs in Britain. Is the O2 Arena? I feel like that's coming to mind. O2 Arena. Yeah, that is in London. I've heard of the O2 Arena. That just comes to mind as a famous place.
Number 5. Inventing sports.
What?
Football, tennis, rugby, cricket, table tennis, golf, ice hockey, and even baseball are all sports that originated in the UK.
Even baseball? Really? I thought we might have had that one because it's so popular in America. gosh, I've heard of some of these things. I just can't wrap my mind around how all of sports was basically invented in Britain.
Table tennis.
That is something that directly has influenced the United States. Like, that's huge here.
Inventing sports. Football, tennis, rugby, cricket, table tennis, golf, ice hockey, and even baseball are all sports that originated in the UK. You're welcome, rest of the world.
Yeah,
We haven't done
right.
too badly at most of them either, especially tennis, rugby, and boxing in recent years. But globally, football is the most popular sport of all.
Yeah, inventing football, I mean, come on. That's, like, absurd.
And though England hasn't won a World Cup since way back in 1966, much to everyone's continued misery, the English Premier League is still the most watched league in the world, with players from all countries queuing up to play in it. Number 4, history.
Oh my goodness, don't get me started on this. Especially with all the historical buildings and architecture in Britain. It blows the United States out of the water. There's so much cool stuff. All the castles. Every time I look at something that highlights the rich, deep, fascinating history of Britain, the British Empire, and particularly all the remaining remnants of it all to this day, it's just awesome.
Britain's a pretty small island, but it's steeped in more recorded history than almost anywhere else, and has long been a top tourist destination for eager culture vultures. True, the widespread rule of the British Empire isn't always remembered with great fondness, but the UK has historically proven an important and positive influence in Europe and the Commonwealth. And few countries can match Britain for impressive castles, important battle sites, stately homes, national parks, or inspired architecture.
Yeah, exactly. It must be one of the most pivotal, most popular tourist destinations on the planet.
There's just really, really old stuff everywhere you look.
Yeah.
Number 3, comedy. No one, and we mean no one, does sarcasm or self-deprecating humour quite like the British.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it has its own phrase, like British humor. It has its own meaning in the United States, even though, that's a term that everyone knows. It's so unique. Very funny, can be hit or miss with the United States, but is distinctly British. Sarcastic, self-deprecating, sometimes kind of strange. I'm not gonna lie to you.
And we mean no one does sarcasm or self-deprecating humour quite like the British. Along with our thriving economy, stable political leadership, and predictable weather, it's what we do best.
Please! This is supposed to be a happy occasion. Let's not bicker and argue about who killed who.
Throw a few inventive, sodding swear words into the mix, and you're onto a winner. And then there's the steady flow of standout films and sitcoms, from Monty Python to Mr. Bean to Peep Show.
What's so funny? It's only a fridge magnet.
I know, but it looks just like a fried egg.
As well as the long list of British comedies that America has tried to remake
That should tell you a lot, right? That America keeps trying to remake all these British comedies in like an American way, but people are probably don't know what to think about that. I'm sure it rubs a lot of people the wrong way too, especially with the two offices and stuff.
For failing miserably. You just can't beat the originals, can you?
Yeah, this is a good example. Awkward workplace humor wasn't really a thing in the United States. First, it was The Office in Britain, with the awkward workplace and the style of shooting. And then it was brought over to the United States. Smash hit, super successful. Americans loved it. So, and it felt like this totally new thing.
Number 2, writing influential books.
Ah.
It's British authors behind the lion's share of the best-selling books of all time, with Charles Dickens's A Tale of Two Cities and J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings toward the top of that list.
Yeah, I don't claim to be any sort of literary expert, but even I know some of the most popular, influential literary pieces ever were created in Britain by British people.
To the bridge of Khazad-dûm.
And J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter books are also the best-selling series of all time.
Yep.
What happened?
I swear I don't know!
But more than the massive numbers, British writers have always been influential in shaping literary styles and genres. From the gothic glory of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein to the gritty realism of Irvine Welsh's Trainspotting, when the Brits write, the whole world reads.
Oh, yeah. I mean, talk about stuff that has influenced the culture, many different cultures. Popular culture in the United States has been shaped. People's childhoods have been shaped by some of these works. Pretty incredible.
So, we all get old, we can't hack it anymore, and that's it.
Yeah.
Number 1. Producing influential music.
Ah.
The Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, Queen, Bowie, Oasis, Radiohead. We could dedicate an entire list to the influential British bands and musicians, and in fact, already have. And it's not just the rock and pop genres we've revolutionised either. The grime scene is another homegrown phenomena with the likes of Stormzy leading the charge.
Oh, I'm actually not really familiar with the grime scene. Seems cool.
Pick
Okay. But yeah, even just looking at the whole picture here, countless music icons from Britain. Outrageous. I mean, I have to say, if you're gonna talk about like the most influential creators of music, I think it'd be fair to put like Great Britain and the United States, like both have made incredible contributions to that. But without a doubt, many Americans' favorite artists, whether they realize it or not, are definitely British. Pretty incredible, especially looking at music history. You know, Beatles, Queen, like, we're talking about some of the biggest, greatest bands and acts in history, not just popular now.
Any era from the past century, and the UK could provide the soundtrack to it. And a bloody good one at that.
Don't let me down.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Watch Mojo UK.
Yeah, I think I do. I do agree with these. This was by Watch Mojo UK. I give that a like. I liked that a lot. Very interesting. What did the comments say? You know why we play villains so well? Americans distrust intelligence. Yeesh, why are we roasting Americans in the comments here? Come on. We enjoy your evil performances. I'm not British, but I have to say England makes the best music. Hot take there. You guys are amazing. Comedy, sports, drinks and tea. Music capital of the world. Feels good to be British. Yes. Okay. Pretty standard comments here. But yeah, it's true, right? This is really interesting. And I wasn't exactly sure where this list was gonna go with things Brits are bloody good at, but it was kind of centered around big ideas. British history a bit, like things historically that Britain has been fantastic at, produced some of the best in the world at, and influenced the entire planet in these areas. And that is absolutely true. Pretty amazing. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this reaction, feel free to give it a like or leave a comment. And also, if you're looking for more reactions, more content, me and my twin brother, who also does YouTube video reactions, made some new videos, a channel together, where that'll be floating like here, right here. If you want more fun stuff to watch, if you're interested, feel free to click that for more entertainment. Anyway, until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.